Now the Chevrolet Beat is powered by an all-new S-Tech 16-valve engine. Now this engine has double overhead camshafts. It's a 1.2-liter engine. The way it drives is fairly good, and it really feels a lot peppier than some of the other cars here. However, the engine does sort of run out of breath at about 5,500 RPM, and you really know you're pushing a really small motor. Now the Fiat Grande Punto 1.2 has been around for some time. Fiat have really launched 2 new variants, which is why this car is in this comparison. This engine is a slightly older generation 8-valve, 70 bhp, 1.2-liter engine. It really doesn't drive as well as you'd expect it to, and this is a heavy car. The Grande Punto is a really heavy car, and it does need slightly more power than it has with this engine. That said, this is part of Fiat's Fire range, which is the fully integrated robotized engine. Now that basically means that Fiat's able to manufacture engines with a lot higher quality control and a lot less moving parts. And this is the 1.2-liter, 4-cylinder, 70 bhp Ford Duratec engine. It's one of the engines here that really make you feel like it's a genuine 70 bhp. It feels like, you know, it's far more light-footed than the other 3 cars here, and it really does make the car a lot more, well, feels a lot more peppier. Now this engine, we really expect it to be far more frugal, but it's for some reason, it's been drinking a lot more than the other 3 cars here. And but of course, when we get down to the stage where we're really getting our test figures back and we're looking at all the fuel consumption figures, we'll really be able to tell you how frugal it was. The Polo is a really important car for Volkswagen in India. This is the first time they're really stepping into the overcrowded hatchback segment, and Polo is typically German when it comes to ride and handling. So you have all the large potholes, road irregularities dismissed with, you know, just a thud or, you know, really quiet rumble. So it's never going to jar or upset any of the passengers or you when you're driving. Now the Fiat Grande Punto has been around for a while, and well, this is the 1.2 with 70 bhp. Now the Punto retains its traditional driving and handling characteristics, and it's pretty good when it comes to the ride and handling package. However, the one thing about this car is that it is heavy, and you just have the feeling that this engine really isn't up to the job of, you know, really making it all that exciting as it should be. The Figo is really the newest car in this entire comparison today. The thing about the Figo is that, you know, they really designed it to be not just, you know, to be a good driver, but to also ride well and be comfortable enough for 4, you know, well-sized adults. Well, the Figo really retains all the Ford DNA of having pretty precise, sharp steering, which provides for great driving experiences, especially when you're on the hills. The Chevrolet Beat is really GM's second innings with the small car market. To start with, the Beat is an all-new generation Spark, so it's a brand new car, a brand new platform. They worked really hard on the suspension, and they've ensured that the Beat does really ride as it can handle. Well, the Grande Punto 1.2 really, in the active, dynamic, and now the emotion trim, you know, is more value for money than ever before. But it really didn't make the cut when it came to our comparison. Well, there are lots of reasons for that. But the first and the most important reason is that even though it's close to 70 bhp from that 1.2-liter engine, the Grande Punto didn't seem that much fun to drive. The second reason it really didn't make the cut was, well, you know, the lack of rear seat space in that car, which is really large on the outside, but not that large on the inside, especially at the rear. So those are the real 2 main reasons why the Grande Punto didn't do very well in our comparison, and has, of course, well, sadly come last. Just like the Grande Punto, the Polo is really large on the outside, and of course it's excellent looking, it rides excellently, it handles well. It has to get a little more value for money when you pay close to 7 lakhs for the top of the line Polo. I mean, there's no electrically adjustable mirrors, and you have to reach all the way out, even on the top end variants, just to try and adjust your left side mirror. So VW could do a little better with the Polo for India. Now you're probably wondering what's going to be second and which car is going to come out tops on our comparison. Well, there are really 2 winners here, and well, both the winners are the Figo and the Beat. Now the Figo, even though it's just 70 bhp, and the Beat here is the most powerful, remember it's close to 80 bhp. Now both cars have equally weighted pros and cons. The Figo scores on slightly better ride, definitely better handling, and slightly more interior space. It's got a bigger boot than the Beat does. However, the Beat scored on our acceleration runs, it scored on fuel efficiency, and for a lot of the younger audience that we showed the car to, they just loved the Beat. However, the mature audiences much preferred the Figo. It's slightly more understated in its looks, it's slightly more mature and grown up looking. Both the Figo and the Beat are also priced very similarly. They both start at just under 3.6 lakhs and they end at just a shade under 5 lakhs ex-showroom Mumbai. So we've really enjoyed this comparison because we've really been able to get into each car back to back. We've been able to drive all of these cars and really give you first-hand feedback on how these cars are and whether they're really worth your money. So we'll see you again soon next week when we'll be out reviewing and driving some of the hottest cars that you're looking forward to getting your hands on.